Yeah, okay. Never mind, Jamie. Okay. Okay. Rachel's here. So code enforcement. Okay. All right. Looks what
Y'all know if we're being recorded before we get started?
It appears that we are.
I think red means
Red means
they're looking at you. Okay, we ready? Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes from December?
No, because you don't have them.
Yes,
That'd be a good reason.
We will email them, we'll approve them next month.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna go past that. And we're gonna talk about reports on funding events. Hello?
Hi.
Well.
How are you?
Okay.
And our last one was in November. So we had about 600 people, which is a little bit less than last time, but we did end up raising $600 has allowed us to be able to stay neutered, and start rehabbing some of the animals in the area.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all of that.
Okay,
Good work.
Thank you.
thank you. OCU is financial information.
Isn't this where we would normally get some information from her so that I could pay her invoice?
I'm sorry.
Isn't this when I would get the information from her to pay her invoice?
If she, I don't know if she's already sent it to you or not. So I usually wait till after.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
I was gonna write checks today, but then I didn't have the chamber ones, but I got sent the chamber ones right before I came to the meeting, so I'll get them all ready tomorrow, or, today, get them signed tomorrow.
I'll be around. Okay. So you want to talk about our financial information? Is there anything before that I'm missing?
No.
Okay. Let's look at the legal size pages.
Okay.
We had an okay December. Looks like not as much collected as we had the prior couple of months. But that may be, I don't have an explanation for that, so I thought I knew everything, but I guess I don't. Sorry, that was just a joke. What we've got is, on the front page, is we've got the amount of food tax and then the hotel tax for a total of $511,000. There's $414,000 going to the city of Conway and $97,000 going to A&P Commission.
All right.
So on the second page, we've got the breakdown between the city of Conway portion and the A&P portion of the monies that came in, and then the amounts, the expenses that come out of that, and the net result. Page 3, we've got collections, total collections, 473,000 food tax, hotel tax 38,000. That also goes back to page 1. That's and comparing this to last year at this same time, we are actually up a little bit over December of 23, and we're way above December of 22. So that's where I was getting myself confused, because I knew that I'd seen something that said that we were up just a little bit. Page 4, we've got collections for past dues. That's looks relatively low there. But we haven't had just a whole bunch of past dues on the delinquent list, so that may be the best we could do for that time period. And we don't have a delinquent list today because we couldn't pull down the receipts for last week on Friday like we normally could because the banks were closed. Or Thursday, the banks were closed. Friday, we still couldn't get it. Jill's been talking to Centennial to try to see if we can't get that downloaded. So we want to go ahead and prepare a delinquent list and get it sent out to y'all. But as of today, we still couldn't get the collections for the past week. And that's integral in being able to give you what's truly past due. So,
In our last meeting, that was the best we had looked
Yeah.
and that's probably
Yeah.
why there's
That was
such
a good job they're doing out
Small
there.
number.
Yes, such
Yes,
a low
yeah.
collections for past dues. So page 4 is collections excluding delinquents, and 24 compared to 23 were way above. Page 4, pay simple payments. There's just going to be probably, that number's going to probably keep growing and growing because more people than ever are paying through pay simple. So,
That just makes sense.
Yes.
Pay that
Yeah.
down.
no, it really does, and
Makes
people like the convenience of it, and then we've got our proper financial statements, the ones on the regular paper there. We have got $3,918,000 in the bank. That's all reflected in the net assets because we have no other assets or any liabilities. So for the month of, let me see your income statement because mine got for the month of December, what we received versus what we paid out for funding and for our payments and for the chamber payments, we are still profitable by $29,392.27, and that makes it profit for the year of $699,624.88. So that's fiscal responsibility. General ledger is just going to be a detail of, oh, I'm sorry, the next page was going to be the December and year to date for 23 compared to December and year to date of 23, the 24 compared to the 23. And total revenues for the whole year of 23, $6,703,998 compared to $6,398,016. So we are growing by leaps and bounds. We also have the general ledger, which will give a breakdown and detail of all the checks that were written and all the entries that were made. And then following that is the reconciliation of the banks and the checks that were written. That is all I can provide to you today. And you need to see if anybody will agree to okay them.
Do I have a motion made to accept this?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition, say nay. No nays, okay. All right.
So that's about 4.5% on the income statement. 4.5% over last year, over 2023. That's just round figures.
It's a good number, though.
That's a pretty good year.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It's a
It's
good
a very good
increase.
year. Very good, yes.
There's gonna be a point in time, I guess, when it's probably gonna start going down, but we hadn't seen it yet.
Hush your mouth.
Maybe not in our lifetime. Yeah.
Hush your mouth.
I'm hoping to outlive that, so, yeah. Okay. Code enforcement? Hello.
Good
Hey, Kim.
You too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He looked better last time than I've ever seen it, so. Yes.
Could you pull that towards you? If you don't mind, Kim?
Okay.
Try that.
How's that?
Yes.
That's a lot better.
Okay. All right. Now, we do have one thing I think that we need to discuss, or y'all do, is you remember we issued citations to Miss Strickland, Sarah Strickland, charcuterie Moore, and the Magic Food Bus. Her name is on both of those permits.
We have a representative here, Mr. Strickland is here.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mr. Strickland.
Okay.
Hi, Kim.
And-
Code enforcement.
We do know that charcuterie and more is current now. They are caught up.
Excellent.
Magic Food Bus, I think, has been
We
closed.
requested on the 23rd of October for that permit to be relinquished. I'm not sure, we're still getting notices, even though we're
Well, I honestly don't know personally if everything was paid up for it when it closed.
It was,
Okay.
the last month we did sales was in August. And so we paid those up. It was a very small amount. I was operating the Magic Food Bus, but I was off in Wyoming, came back, and I've accepted an executive chef's job in Little Rock, so I'm no longer operating it.
Yes. Okay. All right.
So Jill did verify that charcuterie and more is current. And she didn't know if it would be proper to say go forward with just paying monthly at this point, and it's probably not our call to make.
We go by what? you
Well,
all
it used to
did
be
and-
Chuck, it used to be city attorney.
I know that she was behind some months. That's a total of about $790 that we were behind. That's all of the months accumulated together. It's a very small business, and she's in California. She's been dealing with her mother dying, dealing with estate stuff and all that sort of thing. So that's why she can't be here today. But you know, like I said, going forward, the Magic Food Bus shouldn't be an issue any longer, and she's all caught up on her payments for AMP for the whatever she was behind. So
Okay.
Is the plan going forward to make those on time?
yes, ma'am. She's going to
Okay.
try to make those by the 20th of every month.
I mean, I'm glad that you have caught up, but that's been something that's kind of been ongoing. So I would think at a minimum going forward, we would need to make sure that those payments are made in a timely manner so that we don't get back in the situation that we were in previously.
Right.
Because she does still currently, well, she had a court date and she appeared for a plea date. Normally, that is just go up and plead guilty or not guilty and get a trial date set or whatever. And for some reason, the judge wanted an exact amount that she owed. Well, we don't know the exact amount.
Exact
that she owed, and
amount.
so he threw the whole thing out. So what we did immediately was reissue
Sure.
the citations along with a cease and desist and a temporary revocation of her permit until she got with Jill and we
Mhm.
got some kind of clarification and everything. So she will probably, her court date is now, I think on February 18th. Will she be in town?
Yeah, she'll be back on the
Then-
27th of this month.
Okay.
Okay.
I would say from a code enforcement, just opinion,
Mhm.
It needs to be firmly established with her that these
Mhm.
payments are, because they're really not huge amounts,
Mhm.
but it takes us just as much time
Right.
to work through somebody
Right.
that owes $70 to someone
Mhm.
that owes, 2,000.
700,
So,
yeah.
So I think that needs to be a condition of her permit, saying good.
And I'll be happy to reach out to Charles and ask him, our city attorney, if there is anything that we can do. I think we've done this in the past, if I'm not mistaken, Andy, with someone else we had that had been kind of habitually late. We had put stipulations in regards to a process if they continued to be late. But I'll be happy to follow up with Charles on that.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Can I just ask a question? On the Magic Food Bus, if August was the last month of your sales,
Mhm.
um, we were still discussing it in December. So
Mhm.
you said
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah, she actually emailed Tiffany, on October the 23rd. I have the timestamp for the email that she sent asking to relinquish the Magic Food Bus, but I guess she never did.
So it kept showing up on the.
Yeah.
So she emailed Jill, or who
No,
did
she
she?
emailed Tiffany. I can
Who
forward
worked
that
with
for you.
Jill.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I have no idea who Tiffany is.
I gotcha. Let's see. Yeah, October the 23rd at 7:14 a.m. She asked for that to be done, and that was Tiffany at lisastevenscpa.com.
So there should have been a 0 report filed for those months leading
Yeah,
up.
she did after
Okay.
after August. She kept doing it because we kept on getting the notices or whatever. And I'm sure she'd be happy to abide by whatever stipulations you guys, want to place.
I'll take a look at that as well, follow up.
So by the time we have our next meeting, this will be kind of cleared up. is what
Right.
I'm-
It should be.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Thanks for the effort.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Kim,
Thank
thank
you.
y'all for y'all's diligence. Thank you. All right.
Thank you,
Thanks, Kim.
Kim.
Rachel, you ready? All right.
Well, the last month has been different than most months just because we were gone for so much of it. Holidays, snow, whatever. I feel like my child hadn't been in school and longer than it actually has been. However, we still got some good work done. Lots of movement on advertising plans for 2025. I met with Dave Creek, who handles our social media. I know that they've been going out and filming some video to use for upcoming reels. They produced one talking about things to do indoors during cold months and focused on some businesses that have inside activities. And coincidentally, that was posted on one of the snow days. But we got a lot of positive feedback, specifically from those businesses, being thankful that we were, promoting their business. So that was good. Let's see. We've also talked about promoting some hotels. I know they were supposed to go out and film some content at some properties, and I think hopefully got that rescheduled. Sometimes they go out. I don't always know what date they're going out to film one. So I, yes, that Ruth Ann was like, we don't really know.
1-800 Rachel.
Yeah, I was like, it is. They're good. They're supposed to be there. Sorry, I didn't know they were coming. Anyway, so that was good. I've also met with a new photographer, and we're going to enter into a contract of sorts, a retainer for them to do quarterly images, because I've realized recently a lot of the images that I still use in advertising and promotions, I've been using since I've been here. And some of you have been here as long as me or longer, but that's 13 years. So it's time to just refresh everything and be really intentional about it. So the company or the person that I've worked with his name is Walter Lyle, and he owns a small media company in town. And so they will go out once a quarter and take new images. So they will get new cycling images. They will get images of hotels, images of restaurants, and not just a picture of a plate of food, which isn't always what I need, but sometimes that's what people give me. They're going to get images of the new soccer facility, the new aquatics facility, and they seem to really understand photography needs when it applies to tourism, which is helpful. So I'm excited to do that, and I think that that'll be really positive. But also, I've worked with Denise some. One of the reels that Dave Creek was going to film for us was to promote a short-term rental property. And I told them, we have to know if they have a permit, if they're up to date on taxes before we feature them. And so they sent me this listing. It was really cool. I'd never seen it before. It looks like a mirror. Well, they didn't have an AMP permit. So we sent them the application that Denise sent me, and they said they're turning it in this week. So 2 positives. They'll now be paying taxes, and it's a really cool Airbnb or short-term rental property that we'll be able to feature. So I guess sometimes we'll just find places in that way. Anyway, that is the gist of it. Working with Multiview, who does a digital campaign for us, and our static ads received over 40,000 impressions, and our site retargeting ads resulted in over 300 unique clicks to our website homepage based on just 1 month of ad buy. So felt good about those things. Any questions?
Hey, Rachel, just one question on that one that came up that we had. I'm glad, number one, we found out that they were, but I guess my thought is, I don't know how long they have been operating without a permit and how much they've collected. And I'm just thinking Airbnbs that have been continually paying that we could highlight versus somebody that we just found out about.
I think
would
that
much rather us do that.
for sure. And I think, which we've talked about this before, finding these short-term rental places, or it's hard. And I told Joel, I guess a couple years ago now, there was this software we could purchase that would find them for us, but it was really expensive for what we assume is not a ton of income, and it just didn't make sense. So yes, we just have to kind of hope that we can find them, or the short-term rental owners are aware of the fact that they need to be paying AMP taxes. But yes, I can have them look and see. I think they were just looking for something that looked cool and different, and this one did. But I can definitely steer them in a different direction.
I would venture to say that there's plenty of Airbnbs.
That's going to be my thought. Have we just tried to book, like somebody just sat in and try to book these places? We find them that way? Yeah.
So sometimes businesses are online, sometimes they're not online. So I might look for them today and get a different list of what I would find tomorrow. So yes, theoretically we could. I assume that would be me that would do that.
I guess my thought process is I just would not feel real good about promoting somebody that has not done what they should have done, as versus probably several Airbnbs that have, I'm sure, that are probably just as comparable, if not even better, that have done things the way that they needed to be done, and us receiving income from those.
Right. I understand. Any questions about anything else? Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel. Parks and Rec.
Hey, Happy New Year, everyone.
Thank you.
Not the most exciting month, but we still have stuff going on, so that's good. For the month of January, we're still hosting 2 volleyball tournaments and a basketball tournament at each center. So we still have people coming in and out. For the month of January, out at the expo, we had the antique show at the beginning of the month. Believe it or not, we still had the gun show this past weekend. And then the Tacos for Life mobile pack will be later this month, as well as the Battle for the Rock youth wrestling tournament.
All right.
Yep. Thank you.
That's good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, looks like we have some new business today. Hendricks? Someone here? All right.
I've got it. Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. My name is JJ Whitney, and I am the Alumni Director. My full title is Executive Director for Alumni and Constituent Engagement for the college. It's a new role for me. I started September 1st, but I've worked for the college for a long time in different roles. But we have some exciting things that we're doing for Alumni Weekend, and I know that happens every year at Hendricks College. We really hope people come back to campus, but we're doing some intentional things this year to really get those numbers up. We usually have about 150 folks who come back, but this year we've asked all the class parties to come to campus and have their class parties on campus. We opened some spaces on campus for them to do that. And the second thing is that we're having an all alumni concert, and that's why I've come to you today, is that's a new event for us for Alumni Weekend. And so we really hope to get all of our alumni to come to a concert on Saturday evening, April 5th at 7:30 p.m. with the Graham Wilkinson Band. So Graham is an alum of Hendricks College, a class of 2002, and he's open for some Americana type music, if you're familiar with that genre. There's some notable bands, if that's what we follow, my husband and I. So those are some notable bands. He's also played for some PBS documentaries. So he has some notoriety in the music industry, and he is willing to come back and bring his band. There are 4 of them together. And so the cost for that event for bringing Graham is $8,000. That's to host his band, to put up the stage and the lights, and just his cost for coming. We also hope that this is an event that we have for our alumni, our students, and the community. We think this is a great time to bring people to campus. People come to campus a lot for Hendricks to take photos. As you know, a lot of people come to campus to take photos. So we'd like to have something for the community. So we hope on Saturday evening that people would come to this concert from the community. Our alumni gather there after their class parties. Our current students come to the Brick Pit, which is the middle of campus in between DW Reynolds and MC Reynolds and the Murphy Building. If you're familiar with campus, it's right in the middle. It's going to be gated. And so people would come and they would show their identification, because part of their entrance into the concert is they would get to have a beverage, if they would like an alcoholic beverage or non-alcoholic beverage, and a snack. And so that ticket in would provide that. And so we just hope this is going to be a great event for our community. We really anticipate having about 200 alumni come and stay in area hotels and be here on campus for the weekend. We have the Demure Market that's going to be happening in the village that weekend. We have lots of athletic events that are going to happen. That's also in your packet at the very end. I've put the schedule for Alumni Weekend. We have our men's and our women's sports, lots of those going on. So that will be parents as well being on campus for all of those things. So I think it will be a really great event that we hope that will gather the community together, not only Hendricks, but the wider Conway community. Questions?
I, of course, had one. In looking at the request, it was pretty specific. I know I had spoken with Rachel because it didn't indicate on what we had gotten what the request was, but of course it says seed funding. But it specifically said that, and I'm assuming the amount you're requesting is the $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
But it is to fund the fee, travel, and staging of the band.
Yes.
And I don't know that that actually meets our criteria.
Okay,
Typically with A&P, it is for the advertising and promotion
got you. Yeah,
of the event.
Okay.
So that is a concern that I have.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
that makes sense. Yeah, and I am new to this role, don't know exactly what that kind of entails, but
Right.
if you'd like me to come with a different proposal, I'm glad to do that.
The only thing I would just say, since this is an annual event, our requesting of A&P funds are done in October
Mhm.
for the upcoming year. Typically, we look at requests outside of that if it's an actual new event or if it's an event that, say, a sporting event that we had the opportunity to bring here that was something new and different that we just found out
Sure.
about.
Yeah.
So while I appreciate what you're saying about bringing it back, I mean, clearly this is an annual event, so the funding request should have been done for this in October.
Got you, yes.
Yes.
And I met with Kim in December, Kim Williams, and she suggested that I apply even though it was beyond the time frame,
Right.
being new to the role
Yes.
and it being an event that we didn't know about until recently, that we were going to get Graham's band to come to
Right.
Conway.
I mean, somebody may have a different opinion, but I mean, I think our legal counsel has specifically said our funding purposes typically need to be for advertising and promotion of events. So to basically fund an actual band, I think is outside of our perimeter unless somebody else has a different opinion.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm trying to think how we might be able to help
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we mostly promote through our, our own social media, and I'd like to do posters in town. That's something that I think would be great, especially in the downtown areas and restaurants and businesses downtown, to promote that and how people might get a ticket to come. Yeah. So that may be something to ask for, is printing of posters. Does that seem appropriate? Yeah. Yeah, okay. Sounds good, yeah. We also are gonna do, yard signs and that kind of thing. So we can come up with a whole idea for advertising and marketing. Thank you. Yes.
So am I kind of hearing that we'd like him maybe to come back and present it in a different manner, or do we?
I mean, I'd be open to it again with it being an annual event and them not applying like everybody else. It's kind of the whole thing that you're opening up the whole Pandora box for anybody else to come back that didn't apply in October for an annual event to say, well, we just didn't apply then. But I mean, we've got those guidelines in place, I think, for a reason. If it was something new or different, and this request clearly was something different, but it's outside of the perimeter of what we would fund as far as an A&P commission. So,
I understand.
I mean, it's up to you guys about bringing it back.
That makes sense. We can also just take it into consideration and go into the regular funding for our next year's event. Yeah.
I personally think that would be best, because the only concern that I have is the more we allow people to come in for annual events, it kind of sets a precedence that anybody that has an annual event, well, we did it for this person, so somebody else comes back, and where does that stop? So it kind of
Good point.
circumvents the whole.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, I would definitely
Yeah.
like what you're doing
Okay.
and all that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think people to
just
come in
puts
puts us in a position to continually. It kind of sets a precedence
people
coming
Yes.
back.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I think definitely.
Policies in place for a reason.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
That makes sense. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, and
if you get Graham to come back next
yeah.
Yeah.
He
And
may
we'll look
not
forward to
again,
see-
but maybe we'll do something different.
Yeah.
We'll
so-
look forward to seeing you before October 6th.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
All
great.
right.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any more new business? Any old business?
That's just like what's open on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that might, that's gonna be a low number. So that's
Yeah.
the number.
Mm-hmm.
They add them, they take them offline.
Right.
They,
Gotta be a way, you know, like a one-time cost or something, maybe we could pay, you know, VRBO or Airbnb.
so I know that some A&P commissions, some visitors bureaus have deals with Airbnb, with VRBO directly to remit the tax. Now you don't get a report. You don't really know who's paying what, but they will send it to you. But that is something that has to be done from, I can't do that. The city attorney would have to do that. And they have to be the ones that, reach out to them. And I know that it's not an easy process based on what I've heard from other people in my position, but
Airbnb would collect the tax. and
but
then
they
they're
collect the
responsible for remitting
tax
it.
and then remit it
Got it.
on behalf of the properties. But then, like I said, we don't know if one Main Street submitted, how much they submitted versus two Main
Right.
Street. So it's just one lump sum. It's not broken out by property. But, I know a lot of places do that because they're of the mindset of we'll take what we can get at this point because it's just so hard to regulate that industry from an A&P perspective.
Exactly.
Yes,
Right.
I agree with that, yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, 2%.
Mhm.
Add that
It
Right.
shouldn't change anybody's, moving.
No, yeah, we're not taking from their bottom
I'm
dollar.
not staying
It's
there. I'm not paying that 2%.
charge the tax, remit the tax. That's
Yeah.
it.
Sure. Yes.
Speaking of permits. Well, we issued 2 this month.
Okay.
Glad I'm not the only one that had a slow month, but we issued one mobile vendor A&P permit, the Boyle, which I was real happy about because they've been in and out of Conway for a very long time. But they always come on the weekends or in the evenings when I can't send anybody out to say, hey, you need a permit. So they've set it over at the gravel lot. So the church over there's been pretty good about telling their people that they need A&P permits. They work with us. So we've got them permitted finally. And then the new Chipotle Mexican Grill on Prince Street has been permitted. And I had a short-term rental license application come in, which is why I was late in my office just today. So we'll be getting them set up before the end of the week. So
Excellent.
that's
Making
all for me.
progress in snow stuff. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Thank you, Denise.
Have you gotten your office cleaned up from your predecessor?
Okay, unless there's something else, do I have a motion to retire?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion been made? Third. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, looks like we've adjourned. We look to the next meeting. February.
Yes.
February, all right.
What's that?
Motion to retire.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motion been made?